In this part, we are going to make API more robust by adding validations. Right now, our application accepts any data sent by the client, which can lead to invalid or inconsistent data being stored in the database. To fix this, we will use Data Annotation in ASP.NET Core to define validation rules directly in our model. The best part is that thanks to the API controller attribute, validation will be handled automatically by the framework. First, we need to import the necessary namespaces. The Data Annotations namespace provides validations attribute like required, max length, and range. We also keep the schema namespace because we are defining how the decimal field is stored in the database. The ID property is the primary key of our table. It will be generated automatically by the database, so we don't need to validate it. For the name property, we need to add validation rules. Required ensures that the client must provide a value, and max length limits the size of the text to 100 characters. This prevents empty or overly long product names. For description, we don't make it required, but we still limit its length to 500 characters. This keeps our data clean and avoids unnecessary large inputs. For prices, we ensure that the value is within a valid range using the range attribute. This prevents the negative or zero prices. We also explicitly define the SQL column type as decimal with precision, which is very important when working with money to avoid rounding issues. For stock, we make sure that the value cannot be negative. A product can have a zero stock, but never less than that. The created at property is automatically set to the current UTC time when a product is created. This allows us to track when each record was created without requiring any input from the client. Now our product model is properly validated. Any invalid data sent to the API will automatically be rejected with a 400 bed request response. In the next step, we will test these validation rules using Swagger and how ASP.NET Core handles invalid input in real time. Since we already separated our API into DTOs, it makes more sense to validate input where it actually enters the system. The create product DTO represents data coming from the client. So this is where we should enforce rules like required fields and valid ranges. Now let's test our validation rules directly from Swagger. So let's start the application and let's go to Swagger, and I will open the post endpoint for creating product. I will click on try it out, and here I will give an empty string. So execute, and here we got a 400 status. The name field is required. So when I execute the request, ASP.NET automatically checks the validation attributes we added to the DTO. Since the name field is required, the request should be rejected before it reaches our database logic. So the API returns a 400 bed request response, which means the input is invalid. Swagger also shows the validation error details, so the client knows exactly what needs to be fixed. In this tutorial, we covered how to implement validations. So this task is already done. In the next tutorial, we can work on the error response format, or we can even add more entities, or we can create the Git repository. So don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next tutorial.